Yahoo! Prof here, and we're trying to make a dent in the ever-growing mountain of new music releases that I am behind on with life. You know? Pick them up because if any of you have bought, I want to say like manga and now anime in the US, a lot of the best versions of it are only available on release, or most of it. If you want like the ones we just opened, these Blanky Jet City analog 180 grain remasters, right? Good luck finding those after release. I actually almost just missed the latest batch of Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra, and one of them's even on back order. Now, theoretically, back order means it's still coming, but yeah. So, though I may not have time to deal with it right away, then you shouldn't order it. Spend money on it. I tend to agree usually, but for a lot of these, if you can't get it on release, you're then going to have to wait until it is available used on the aftermarket, which could be years because people have to not want it anymore for that to happen. This one is boxed up vertically sideways. Normally I get flat wide boxes, not tall skinny boxes. This one seems to have its fair share of stuff here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with a bonus item. I'll take it. Let's undo some of the paper packaging here and see what is inside. I would say a lot of those are limited editions based on how thick with triple C's they are. So, oh, I know what this one is. That is Asian Kung Fu Generation. Mooskies, you don't like that one. Here we have Straightener. Looks like our bonus. Then for those that have watched the previous video. Now, not only is the kitten on my chair where she is not supposed to be on, but she has her bag. Yes, that once was a Walmart bag. Kitten. That is my chair. You know you're not supposed to be on this one. You know? Are you going to get off? No. Okay. Come on. Off the Herman Miller Aeron. You know better. There you go. Bag. Kitten. There she is. You always come short, though, Paisley. Why don't you ever bring it to me? I'm over here. I'm not over there. Alright, so next up was special thanks. Ooh, and a bunch of others. Let's take a peek. This is a packed one. Then we've got Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra. That is, I mean, I think that this was the one that was supposed to come in. I may or may not have posted about it, but I was late ordering this too. I want to say I did a big order in March that actually encompassed the end of 2023. So we're talking March of 2024. But then I didn't order again until July, August, and then it finally, because of certain ones of these, we were a bit behind on them shipping because I ordered ones that were already available, and a lot of times that's fine. They'll just hold on to them. And then new ones that hadn't come out yet. So some of these you'll see may be older ones. You'll be like, well, why didn't you have those ready? Also, I'm opening this box like the previous box was maybe less than a month old. That's not your bag, kitten. Yeah, that's not your bag. It's not. I can't even pick up my trash. All right. So a bunch of these may seem like they are older than they are for the release period. For those that track that sort of stuff, that is because I kind of waited quite a while and ordered this order ended up being 3 or 4 shipments, I want to say, all at once. Which is not just this one. This is obviously one of those shipments. One of the shipments shipped right away because it was like stuff that was actually already out that I was having to order. I think one of the items had to be proxied in. I may have mentioned in a previous video also that I did for the first time ever order some figurines. And I am not a anime figure person. I never saw the point, but these came up on Twitter. It's, if I recall, a fashion brand designed characters specifically for the figures. Like, so they have like different outfits and stuff. And I saw them and I'm like, oh, those are, and they looked really well done. This is 9mm. Oh, that is when I, by the way, that's basically when I realized that I didn't order. The new 9mm album came out and I was like, this is the like I was saying in the previous video, like Boom Sides was like one of the first. 9mm is like, that would have been what, like 07, I want to say I got into them. Trying to remember. They came out with the opening for Real Drive, and then that's cost. What year did the anime Real Drive premiere?
Real Drive's premiere date is April
There you go.
9th, 2008.
So there you go. If I recall, 9mm started not that much earlier than that. And I've been following ever since. So the fact that this is a sticker for their new album, and I was a bad fan and didn't even know a new album was coming, or didn't remember a new one was coming, and it released, and I listened to it on streaming. So these are the Ordinary Road from Straightener, and we will get into why I have 2 of them, because you're probably confused. Paisley, you're going to destroy everything while I sleep, aren't you? Yeah? Are you? Yeah. Well, you guys probably heard that. He says. If there's a cardboard box, she will get in it. Will she trap herself in it because it closes? Maybe. Will she then meow her cat brain out and or claw her way out of the box? Yes. Whoa! Okay, so I'm glad I ordered this. Do you guys see the... That's on this outer wrapper of it, I'm pretty sure. Are you ready to head into the future? Hello, Domo. Special thanks. Changed up their look again. They're a pop punk. Special thanks, punk record. Pop punk. The only... I believe Misa is her name. But the only consistent band member, like over the time that I've been listening to them for probably more than a decade now. When did... When it's like young Prince something. It Young Prince romance anime. Oh, it didn't know that one. But yeah, look up Special Thanks. It's been quite a while. It's definitely a post 2007 anime. I don't know. I don't remember by how much. I don't know if we're getting the 2010s yet or not. But either way, that's now more than sadly 10 years ago at this point. So what is interesting is they are pop punk, but they have some. I'm not gonna say I always like every album as good as the other one, but a lot of their stuff is like pop. I don't want to say pop culture based, like pop. I mean, that's why it's pop. Pop rock, pop punk. It's so what do you want to say? Like image is a big thing, you know, like with especially with Japanese bands when performing, you'll see that with I mean bands all across the world too, but in Japan it particularly, like they'll have a certain vibe. She has changed up the vibe of the band a number of times. Like they're like a 2-piece now, I want to say. Where at one point they were a 4-piece. You know, they also, like I said, you can definitely tell they're a pop band. Very fashionable. If you want to see 90s fashion in full force, check out their current vibe. Yeah, just put it that way. Okay, so I went over this one completely. We do not need to re-go over this one. I spent more time. I thought I was just going to open these. But this has... why buy this? This is readily available. With being a pop artist, you can definitely either download this or get it on streaming. Once again, if you watched the previous video, this one does not have the Blu-ray, but it has a live CD. Only way to get this live CD, in many cases, and this is how they get better CD sales, and I think it's a way that works, is with this special edition of this. I believe there's different album art as well, and I don't remember in any of the things seeing the cool iridescent like digital dots that are on here. So we're going to put this one way out of the way because we talked about it far more than expected. I want to say I've already listened to the non-live CD of this because, yeah, especially Kirei. A lot of these were available. They very much do the very pop band thing in Japan of all of your big tracks are going to be out as singles before the album is out. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just it is how it is. Let's check it out. Special thanks. Special, not thanks. Thanks. Love Good Time is the opening song. It is from... oh, god dang it. Okami Shoujo Chikuro Oji. Let's figure out the English name for that. Wolf Girl and Black Prince. Check it out. It's a phone. It's a shoujo, but is it? It's definitely a bit of a comedy too. So let's do romantic comedy, rom-com. Rom-com anime are always fun. It's a great song too. And so apparently they have. That's the single. Just called Punk Records is the name of the album. So definitely available as of October. So that should tell you. I don't know if I want to say this came in over the holidays, so like December, like in between Christmas and New Year's. So I've had it for a month at least now. Right? Yeah. Okay, we got 9mm new album. I always pick them up. This is nothing special. What can I go over that? Ooh, this should be TK's new. Nope, Spellbound. Spellbound new single. All right. And that's the last one that's in here. So we can kind of work through them now. So this is Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra 35. So I believe Yeah, the reason why this is 35 is because it's their 35th anniversary. Meaning they're slightly older than I am, but not by a lot. That's also why Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra has kind of been through each wave of ska. I have their previous collection. That wouldn't have been 30th. I wonder when they put that out. But it's like all of their music videos, everything in high res. I have it. It's interesting. You can literally see in their music videos like the development of ska from the late 80s through the thousands. You know, and then it like where it petered off here, it didn't for them necessarily. They're definitely, I feel like they've definitely had a resurgence within the last 5 years. But they've been active the whole time with a big band, which is there's a reason why their orchestra is they have a ton of members. I swear there isn't a day that because I follow them on Twitter, just like many of these bands. That's how you find out about their releases. That like one of them isn't having a birthday, and that's just due to the sheer count of their members, I think. So why buy this? Because this is effectively a best of album, right? Why pick this up? Well, let's zoom in. Bada bing, bada boom. CD. I might be wrong in saying this is the best of. I have a kitten on my back, kitten on my neck, with her claws digging into my neck. Kitten, no. Ow, you're falling and clawing me. If you guys can see this right now, she really thinks she should have attention. Kitten, your claws are so sharp. You won't let me cut them. Oh, so is it a new album? It's just to celebrate their 35th anniversary? Maybe I'm crazy. I'd probably have to look into it more. So I might be wrong. It may just be a new album to celebrate their 35th anniversary. It may have some on here that are new and old alike, and or redone. If I translated a bunch of the Japanese or read their website, because they generally have pretty good stuff, I could understand that. I know there is a best of coming that's like best of by their drummer, if I recall correctly. So that'll also be interesting. But why I picked this up is not because of this necessarily. That I can go. Deezer's got it. I'm sure iTunes has it. I'm sure Mora or Otooi, any of those have it. They are a Sony label, so basically any place that I think they're a Sony label, unless that changed. Just Records, Cutting Edge, Avex. My bad. But you can fairly easily find their stuff. If it's on Deezer, it's generally on any of the other ones, you know, because Deezer's like, if I recall, they're French. I don't know how I keep using a lot of French services. I'm realizing this. Like Rhino Shield is French and Taiwanese. Yeah. I do like French action movies too. They got a bit of rawness to them. Yeah, that'd be my number 2 after like Hong Kong style. Watch AKA on Netflix, and you'll see. Like after watching that, I was like, "Holy shit, this guy can fight and act." Like I want to know. Like very rarely do I ask what other things the actor has been in, and that was one of them. But yeah, I picked it up because this is the triple disc, 3-disc version. This is available in a 1-disc, a 2, like a normal edition, a 1-disc special edition, a 2-disc, and a 3-disc, if I recall correctly. If you're gonna buy this and you're gonna spend the money to import it into the U.S. and pay for that shipping, because this is like 4,000 yen plus shipping, 56,000 or 5,600 yen shipping. You know, so 40, 50, 60 bucks. Minimum 30, you know, for if you're just shipping one in. But if it, you know, better off bundling it up. Normally, like I don't try to get them on release. Like I'll try to bundle like 2-3 months together, you know, and ship all that. Because especially because a lot of this stuff is available streaming now, or at least digitally. Maybe not like these parts, which is what I really want, but the other bits of it. So yeah, I picked it up because of the 2 Blu-rays. We got the 2023 Hall Tour Junker Gem, which you may have seen me open up that one before. And then I cannot read any of that Japanese. It looks like something 35, so this might be from the 35 tour. 1 through 10. That might be 2 different ones too, because there's a 1 through 11 and a 1 through 6. Then as well, there's a bunch of music videos as well on here. Like they cram it full. Also here, this is album version bonus track. If I go and look at the streaming version of this, it may not have that track. That's another thing they end up doing, is not just Tokyo Ska, but like a lot of bands will put, like, say their normal album will have 9 tracks, and then their physical release will have 11, or something like that. You know, Tokyo Ska. Back. Tokyo Ska. Paisley, you cannot sit on my DAC amp. No. This one is also from October. Let's check it. Check it. It does have 15 tracks. I don't know why I haven't listened to this one. I don't know. I've had a lot going on. Let's put it that way. Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, can I go right where you're sitting? Because that's where I was sitting up until 2 seconds ago, kitten. The one on Deezer doesn't have the feet on it. So they don't always follow that correctly, though. So yeah, so Junker Gem would have been an early 2023 release. Makes sense that the tour would be from 2023 then. Because most times you tour to promote your releases. Makes sense, right? What do we got up next here? We have the Spellbound. This is their new single. This might have been one of the ones that held back the release. I don't know if we have that on here. Buried in. So 2024 12/25. I'm pretty sure this is the one that held back this shipment. Like this specific batch, because this released on Christmas. This is the new opening for... I should know this. website. The fact that Google doesn't return, I mean, granted, I'm searching like Japanese bands and want to go to their website, which is apparently rough. Let's put it that way. Yeah, this isn't going anywhere fast. It might be for a live action show as well. I thought it might have been for the one I knew anime, but I think that it ended because it was on like season 4. So high chance that this is for the live action thing that I saw. Why pick up this? Once again, you can just download it, except the DVD you can't. You get the music video and the making of music video. Music video, kind of whatever. You can watch that on YouTube often because this is a DVD. And remember how I said they still put DVDs in here? This happens with TK all the time. TK and Ling Toshite Shigure. You can get 4K versions of their music videos. But like digitally to buy them, it's always 480p. If you're buying off of like Mora or any of the places that will sell you a music video, like iTunes, that sort of stuff, maybe that's HD, but a lot of those are 720p at best. And you can buy the DVD, so that's 1080p. But then you go on YouTube and they have like a 4K one. If you go on Vimeo, some of those are straight uploaded to Vimeo is the ProRes footage, like the raw ProRes footage. You can't buy that though, because they want to sell you the potato. But in this case, I am most interested in the making of the music video on here. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's got TV size instrumental. Often what they'll do is they'll only put the first 2 tracks on the album. And that is exactly what they did. So the first 2 tracks are considered the single. And if you want all 4, then it's considered an EP. And those are not always uploaded. Personally, I don't think this is classified as an EP. It's still a single because in Japan it's very common to have your A side, your B side, and then the TV size version of the A side and the instrumental version of the A side for karaoke. So I would consider this still a single. An EP would end up being, it doesn't even have to say before, but it'd be at least 3 distinct tracks, often 4 or 5. You know, places might just be using to differentiate between the like digital release and the physical release. Because otherwise it gets like often you call the one. Yeah, I think that's how you would if you got the digital, like, because often what will happen, and this might sound crazy to you guys, but say for this, the single from them is probably actually available in high res. There might even be a download code inside of here. But that's only 2 tracks. So in your, like, when you're organizing these, you somehow have to tell the difference between the 2-track high res and the 4-track CD quality one. And I guess single and EP would be a good way to do it. Technically, like I said, though, I wouldn't consider this an EP. It may have to be just to differentiate between the 2. Now, for my collection, I actually may break that up and actually just take the 2 high res and jam them into the release. If they're literally the same songs as what is in this, I would just have a mixed album of some high res, some CD quality. Now, to the music preservationists out there, they'd be like, you know, because they want to keep that original like alignment. Now, I do keep all of those, like exactly how the CD is ripped and exactly how it is downloaded or whatever. But for my own collection, I may change that up. I don't like having... Okay, so if a single just has the single song, right, and it's on an album as that exact single, I do not need the single. I could give a shit less. Now, I'll keep it for my collection. Like I said, it just won't be sorted and part of what I actively play and listen to. Now, often, like I said, singles come with live tracks or something like that. Then I will maintain it. Like if it's like single, live track, or, you know, A, B side, live track, you know, I'll keep it as a separate release. Because you need something to track that live release. Like I don't want to just keep track 2 of a release. But personally, if, like I said, if that single or that EP, it better have unique stuff on it. Like as in, if that EP just has 4 tracks that end up being on the same album, yeah, no, nope. Or like often, like I said, with Special Thanks, they'll release like 4 separate singles, and those are the exact same ones that are on the album. I may pick them up for, like what you said, collection purposes, to have them, make sure they're the same, etc. But more than likely, I will just be like, I don't need the duplicates. Now, I'm not... that is also why, in my personal collection, unless there's a different version in a best hits, a greatest hits sort of thing, I don't put the greatest hits in. Because often I will listen... I either shuffle my whole collection, generally, or an entire artist, which effectively will end up being greatest hits, because there'll be more of them, of the more popular songs. Or I play through an album start to finish, which is most often I just shuffle my whole collection, or I play through it start to finish. So that's where, at least like on my phone and the things I listen to regularly and the things I maintain directly, I don't, and you've seen me even buy greatest hits. Yeah, I want them as part of my collection, but I don't necessarily want them as, because if you only listen to greatest hits album, and I know a lot of times those are the ones that sell the best, you're not getting like a nice distribution of their different albums, songs, styles, etc. And I'm at this point with most of these bands that, you know, that's how I listen to them. I've made my own radio station. A very eclectic one, for those of you that have heard it. But, you know, so we have 9mm Parabellum Bullets, latest album. You Need Freedom to Be You. Apparently 2 of the songs are from some sort of Nintendo Switch. The Red Belt's Lament. I can't read that kanji, but they have a very small English in there. And then there's another song from something else that I can't read. Some of their newer stuff has been like that, for sure. So then I don't know how well their albums then go to. I feel like their better albums are the ones that don't have the bulk of the songs being for anime, video games, or shows. Because what they're doing is they're making singles, and they're trying to make a cohesive album around it instead of, you know, just like Brand New Day. Oh, Domino. Okay, so baby. So there are new songs on here, but the rest of these were originally singles or EPs. Interesting. That album version is a previously done one too, I think. I'm sure I read something about this on Twitter about it being something like that, like as in it's like a collection of singles or B-sides or EP stuff, and then like the new songs here. So that this is maybe how they got it out. I ordered this however long ago, to the point where here 2022 425. Wow. What? Oh, 24 10 23. What was I reading over here then? I don't know what that is implying. But came out October also. You remember how a lot of these were October? Yeah. So probably in October, and then in December when I actually ordered these, I knew what was on them. And when ripping, I'll probably have to re-educate myself. That's why you bookmark the pages, you save tweets, you save screenshots, you break that stuff down. Next up here, we do have the pair of straightener, The Ordinary Road. Now the other these were cheap. Looks like $8,500 after tax, $7,800 before tax. Says a 10%. I can't read whatever that is. It's the VAT basically. These look almost the same, I bet. To you guys, except for the images on the front. So these are an A and B version, meaning that if you want the complete thing, like if you saw earlier for Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra, you could buy a singular CD, a limited CD, like that had the different artwork and probably something else on it, or the bonus track or something. Then a one, like a CD Blu-ray, and then a 3-disc, which is CD Blu-ray. There might have been a DVD one even in there too. This is a bit different. If you want both of the Blu-rays, you gotta buy 2 copies. Yep. One other thing I will say is that these have live CDs on them. Though these are released with the album, some people would put the live CD as the second disc. And unless, like, say for special thanks here, unless this live CD, so this is 2024, April 20th of 2024, and this was released in 2024, 10/23, so also October. Might have gone over that already. Mr. Donut Oneness, don't see that on here. Favorite song, nope. I don't know, nope. Oh, nope. 1 week, nope. I don't think. Mr. Donut. So this is like kind of best hits live CD here. Most people, and probably like the correct way would be to rip this as a disc 2 of the limited release of this. And that is probably how I rip it initially. But if this is, because this is specifically that 2024 April 20th at Shibuya Spotify Oak Crest, that is, I'll actually make it its own album of that live release. Personally, that is how I do it. Because technically, it actually, besides being released with Punk Records, right? It's not, unless it's these songs. Now, sometimes what they'll do is they'll actually tour with it before the, because it's advertising the new album, right? So sometimes you'll actually get, but usually the live tracks are of the previous. So if you buy like the new single that comes out from 9mm, right? The new single of their next, that's going to be on their next album, will have a live version of this one, right? That's kind of how it works generally. So I will actually split that off as its own album. And I know technically that's not correct because it's not an album, but that is how I prefer to it, because it, like I said, realistically, that live one has nothing to do with that CD, effectively, right? I may have showed this off when I was ripping some other stuff, but that'll probably be what happens here, because this is Birthday of the Lost World, and this one is Straightener Mania. So these are actually like their own tours, so they should be their own albums. They're released with The Ordinary Road, and I'll rip them as such, but then I redo them as their own separate here. Birthday of the Lost World at Shelter, and this is Straightener Mania at Zip Diver City, Tokyo. Otherwise, the actual album it's on, which is The Ordinary Road, same album. You could go stream that right now. So what you're really paying for is the Blu-ray. What Japan does do well is, even on the DVDs, you're probably getting, like lossless, 16-bit 48 kilohertz audio. In this case, we're getting 24 kilohertz, or sorry, 24-bit 48 kilohertz PCM, just straight up lossless, raw. Convert that over to a FLAC, and there you go. And you're like, well, why would you do that? Why don't you watch it? I will watch it. But think about this, with these, you know, as they stand, you can't watch this in your car. Where do I listen to music most? Shower, car, work. Can't be watching a freaking live show at work, right? Not if I still want my job. So, but that's why I picked up both of them, is because though they're the same album, this is A, that's B, I believe, and they have different live Blu-rays with them. So if you want both of them, instead of being like the Tokyo Ska, where you just buy the 3-disc instead of the 2-disc, which some bands do, other bands choose to do this sort of thing and get, if you want both of them, you get 2 different releases. I think this makes, technically speaking, this would probably make album sales look more, because you bought 2 albums, even though you didn't buy it for that purpose. You know, more than likely too, the first disc in here is exactly the same. I will still re-rip it as 2 separate ones. Eventually my collection, this will be 3 albums though. It'll be The Ordinary Road, which may even have a high-res digital available. May end up with that instead. But then the 2 Blu-rays will not only be, you know, made visually available, but also chopped up and made digitally available. And then converted over to FLAC, because why store PCM? If you guys have questions on how I do that and stuff like that, you can hit me up. I might have done some recordings in the past with some guides on how to do it. It's not hard. I mean, I say that having done it for however long. But you basically chop, as long as they were smart enough to put chapters in it, you just split it based on chapter. If you miss some chapters, you make your own and you split it via chapter. And what I mean by these were expensive, this was what, 8580 yen, 7800 before the thing. This is 8600 with 7818 before the VAT. And this, in my opinion, ow, you see I took my knuckles off? Yeah, I was moving things around the basement and be like, oh, it'll be quick, you say, it'll be easy, you say, and then I'm a clumsy beep boop beep and ripped the skin off my knuckles. They are sore as. This is Age of Kung Fu Generation Tour 2023. It is the tour of the album you're seeing, which I did previously do a... it's vinyl. It's over in that giant stack I was showing off. Basically, they made a song for every stop of the train line. From my understanding with this, if I recall correctly, they played at each one of, I don't know if at the stations or at the cities that the stations were, as well. And this is of that tour. So, looks like there's a, I'm guessing you get a cheaper one of these. Since I'm paying for shipping, you might as, I mean, maybe you guys can think of differently. Like, otherwise I just go get the digital one if all you want is the content. Don't spend time shipping it. But if you are going to ship it over here, you know, if a standard one is 2,800 yen and the limited edition is 4,000 yen, the shipping, especially if it's one of these, is the same. Literally the same between this and a standard single CD. It's not going to be much more. Yes, this is heavier. It's got the art book in it. But you're already spending how much? And if I want to say shipping is probably in that same realm of like 2,800 yen, 4,400 yen, something like that, you know. And most of these you're seeing that these are rather expensive ones. I want to say the special thanks one was on the cheaper side. Yeah, here it's 4,000. The Tokyo Ska, I don't know if this one has anything on it for pricing. Oh, here you go. 9,000. Spellbound was only here because it's a single or an EP. And this is even with the DVD, so you're looking at 2,000. That's not even an album though. Just keep that in mind. That's a single or an EP is 2,000. I've seen those go as low as like 1,500, 1,800. If they are truly just a 2-track single. But you're gonna spend probably minimum 2,500 yen shipping it over here. So that's why I tend to bundle them up. And if I'm gonna spend the money to, if I'm gonna spend basically as much as it costs to buy the item at times to ship the item, you might as well spend a little bit more and get the nicer item because you want it anyway. You're collecting it. Now that does not necessarily apply when I buy the used ones because I try to keep that under 800 yen when I buy the used ones. And normally I search out the ones that are 300 or less because at that point I'm trying to get the music, not the item, but I'm spending a fraction of what they originally were. And usually they're in very good condition. Now, every now and then you'll get one that's not so much. Most times it's warranted, but I'm like, I'll still give it a shot. Some of the stuff, like I said, I've had that it's been better than new condition. And you're like, how can that possibly be? I'm like, because they literally like repackaged it in like say it didn't have a jewel case originally, that sort of a thing. Often when you buy, like, say if I were to buy this used, it would have this sleeve on it still. Shit you not. Now that is what I try to do with mine as well because I will listen to them physically once, twice, maybe, rip them, then they go on the shelf. And then I mostly use them to find what I want. And often if I've already ripped it and cataloged it and all that sort of stuff, I will just listen to the digital one. Maybe if I say this as an art book, I'll pull it out, take a look at it. But, yep, BD plus photo book. So I'm going to almost guarantee the Blu-ray only was available for a bit cheaper. A bit, I say. Probably significantly cheaper. But yeah, had to pick this one up because, like I said, I have their, not had to, but like I have their limited edition Blu-ray, or not Blu-ray, vinyl of this, and this is the tour of that completed album because it was released much earlier, incomplete, and it took them until the other year to finish it. Really interesting. If you go back, you'll probably see me unboxing that vinyl. Apologies for my memory being much more hazy on this set of these. Yeah, as you can see, a lot of them are from October, and I think I ordered, I don't know if I ordered these in, I think I might have ordered these in July. So I ordered them in July. They came out in October. They didn't ship till December because of that Spellbound release that didn't come out till Christmas. Now, I just got the previous video today. So that would tell you, like there would have been another month or two gap to the next release. So they do kind of try to pace it out, like what you saw in the box. That's kind of what they want to keep it to. You go any bigger than like the small like the vinyl box, that's yay thick, or the box you just saw for this, and shipping tends to like double in cost once you go to that point. That is why a lot of these over here, you're going to see, like, they're all these vinyl boxes because they have vinyl in them, and they'll put other stuff in with it and pack it. It's kind of got a fixed cost on it. Like, it's almost always the same. If you're going to ship that, you might as well fill the box, sort of thing. Now, if you go too much, like, if you start going past this, like you guys have seen where they ship me these giant boxes, not even giant boxes, like, I end up being weight limited and or item limited. I think it's like 25 items per shipment. The cost of those CDs, shipping ends up generally being, when I buy the used ones, for like the 100 to 300 yen to maybe 800 at most. That's like a pricey one. 800 yen is a pricey one when I buy those that way. Even 700 yen I consider pricey. I try to do like 1, 3, 500. The shipping on those is more expensive than I paid for the discs. And yet they still, shipping wise, they treat them the same. Very rarely have I gotten a broken one. So, yeah, come back. We definitely have more coming, and we'll be opening those. I didn't expect this one to take as long as it did, but we had a lot of stuff in there. I didn't realize that much was coming in this specific box. That box was a little deceiving. You saw the first one at the end of the previous video that had one item in it, right? That was the same size box. One versus, I don't know, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 items? You never know, because it's been a bit, so I don't remember. Horrible fan, I know, right? So, hopefully we'll see you in the future videos, and you guys enjoy this. If you have any specific questions about any of these bands, you know, how I get them, styles of music, where to find them, etc., throw it down below in the comments, or hit up our Discord. We got a whole channel based on that sort of stuff. And I'll try and help you there. Link in the description. Peace.